What is up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy, Motor City Don P, back once again, and you already know what time it is when you see me on your TV, when you see me on your mobile phone, when you see me on your laptop. You already know that one thing is for certain and three things are for sure. Number one, the Motor City Cats are indeed back at it. Number two, we came to give you stats, not none of that static. Number three, and perhaps the most important number of them all, number three. We want to make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And you may be asking yourself, how, Don, does one keep their Lions news pragmatic? Well, it's very simple. I'm glad you asked. It's a three-part process. Smash like button, subscribe, share. And because sharing is indeed caring, when you've shared this stream with your grandfathers, your fathers, your uncles, your cousins, your aunties, your mamas, your brothers, your sisters, your fathers, your grands, your steps, your halves, your bosses, your employees. You have indeed cared about those people because sharing is indeed caring. What up, though, salty pork chops? I will not say the rest of what you had to say there. The question is from TaylorMade Media, did Brad Holmes cook? Not yet. He ain't cooked nothing yet. He has not cooked anything yet, and we are going to be talking about it because we thought he was cooking. We thought he was cooking, and he got an edge rusher, and the edge rusher, what's his name? Tyrus Wheat. Tyrus Wheat. But we already know that the news of the day, and I did a video at Detroit. Okay, I did a video for Syndicate Sports Detroit, and we talked about Tim Patrick getting traded. Did that for me. That was last night. For you guys, that was this morning. However, Tim Patrick has indeed been traded. If you've been living under a rock and you haven't heard anything about it, or if you've just been waiting for Motor City Don P to come and give you the news of the day. Either way, I thank you. Tim Patrick has been traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a 6th round pick. Was the writing on the wall? Yes. We just didn't know how the writing was going to manifest itself because we saw people. We saw Brad Holmes. We saw Dan Campbell. We saw Isaac Tesla. They were down there scribbling something. They were like, They were all huddled in the corner like, ooh, oh, this going to hit. Oh, snap. I like the way you did that. You got a little bit of graffiti going on in there. That was writing on the wall. And that writing on the wall was that Tim Patrick was not only not going to be the number 3 wide receiver on this football team, but that he wasn't even going to be on this football team. It's sad. It's sad, but again, I liken it to the Hendon Hooker situation. If you were a fan, so look, I tried to take Tim Patrick off my 53-man roster prediction, and there were people that were like, nah, we're going to need Tim Patrick. You can't take him off the team. I tried to take him off the team, but I listened to the fans. And the fans told me Timmy P was going to be here. What up, though, Mr. Morale 313? What up, though, Will Murray? What up, though, Salty Pork Chops? What up, though, TaylorMade Media? Let me pop the chat out so I can get to y'all on the fly while I'm talking, because you already know, I got three workers. I got 3 cars. One of my workers owe me a payment. You know what I'm saying? I get one of them out the shop. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm rolling right now. I ain't got nobody. Yeah, don't like doing that, so I pop the chat out. What's his TaylorMade Media says Tim Patrick is 44. Okay, so I tried to take Tim Patrick off the roster, and there were people that didn't want me to take Tim Patrick off the roster. They thought that we would need him. Okay, I liken it to the Hendon Hooker situation. The writing was on the wall. Why was the writing on the wall? Because Tim Patrick, not only did he not play in the preseason, which you would say that the writing was really, really on the wall if he was playing in the preseason. But again, Tim Patrick is 31 years old. He is a vet. So they were like, we're not going to play you in the preseason. But when he had opportunities in camp, he was either too injured or he wasn't capitalizing on his opportunities. So he didn't really have a whole lot of opportunities in camp because of the injuries, right? And then when he was healthy or semi-healthy or healthy enough to be out there, he didn't look like himself. He didn't like he didn't look like the Tim Patrick of last year, where he kind of burst onto the scene and he developed a rapport with Goff and all these other things. Didn't look like that same guy. So the writing was on the wall. Isaac Tesla did emerge. There was a tweet, I think it was yesterday. For me, it was yesterday. From the NFL's official account. They said, have the Detroit Lions found a hidden gem in Isaac Tesla? And I quote tweeted it and I said, well, now that the NFL's official account has tweeted this, I believe we can say that we have. And shortly thereafter, Tim Patrick was traded. So, if you don't follow the NFL's Twitter account, follow it. Because once they start tweeting stuff about the Lions, you can pretty much set it in stone. If they were to tell you that Jahmyr Gibbs was going to be, he's looking like he could be an offensive player of the year, and it came from their official Twitter account, you could probably pencil that in. I'm not a gambling man. I'm not a bettor. I'm not giving any advice. Okay, that's what if y'all want to do that with your own dime, you do it with your own dime. I'm not going to give you any advice. I'm not going to give you any bets. I don't have any advice. I don't have any bets. My only advice for gambling would be don't do it. It's a slippery slope. Okay, I needs my money. I need all my money. Okay, all right. What up though, Jody Carruthers? I always say Carruthers, but it's Carruthers. You know what I mean? But I just say it fast. What up though, Jody? All right, let's see what we got here. Will Murray says Brad put some ish in the microwave. All right. So he it ain't cooked yet. He's Salty Pork Chop says give him time. What up though, Tactical Sport? Taylor May says told you how it go down, but you get 3 cars. You know what I'm saying. All right. All right. So the Hendon Hooker situation as well was the writing was on the wall, but there were, as I told you, there were other forces at play. There were people who were fans of Hendon Hooker, and there were people who were critics of the Detroit Lions organization, not for football reasons. Okay. Hendon Hooker was not good in the preseason. Hendon Hooker was not great at training camp. Hendon Hooker had 3 years, well, let's say 2.5, right? Because his first year injury, whatever. Okay. He had all that time to show the Detroit Lions that he was the man. But what happened every year of training camp? You got to bring in another quarterback for him to compete with. Now you brought in Nate Sudfeld and you dispatched him. You brought in Jake Fromm, but Jake Fromm, if you want to talk about a guy that didn't get an opportunity, Jake Fromm did not get an opportunity. He came in second half, fourth quarter. He was second half and fourth quarter Jake Fromm. He never got an opportunity to play with any of the kind of upper echelon, or I don't want to say upper echelon because it's the preseason, the same echelon of talent for and against that Hendon Hooker and Nate Sudfeld were playing with and against. Okay? So you had to beat those people out. This person and that person beat this one out, beat that one out. Okay, cool. Now you bring in Kyle Allen, who's a little bit more accomplished and a lot better quarterback than Nate Sudfeld, because Nate Sudfeld is, in fact, and indeed confirmed, cheeks. Okay? Cheeks. All right? Ass. Okay? It stinks. It smells like 2 cans of ass. Okay? That was Nate Sudfeld on the field. Okay? So Kyle Allen comes in. Kyle Allen looks is a similar level of cheeks in game 1. And then he balls out for the next 3 games, and Hendon Hooker is indeed looking like cheeks. So now Hendon Hooker is in Carolina. He was picked up by the Carolina Panthers, and we'll see what he does over there. And I'm pretty sure if he gets into a game and he throws a touchdown or he looks somewhat decent, like they could lose 56-7 and Hendon Hooker threw the touchdown, and they'll be like, see, I told you Hendon Hooker was that dude. No. Okay? His 7 points didn't help that team win anything. What up, though? Motor City Mia. New sub. TaylorMade Media says slippery slope. Pause. Tactical Sports says the sad part is that Jake Fromm looked better than Hooker and he didn't get a chance. Facts. Motor City Mia says they should still bring in another QB, to be honest, as solid as Allen is. I am not high on Kyle Allen. I've been very, very vocal on my not highness on Kyle Allen. Okay? Now, I don't get high at all, though I've been accused of getting high by some person. And I am not smoking the Kyle Allen pack. Okay? I am not, that's not a supply that I'm getting high on, even though I don't get high ever. But now the roster is settling. We've got some stuff. Okay? Which brings me back to today. We claimed some people. Let me see what the practice squad is. Hold on. Detroit Lions practice squad. Now, if you guys are looking for me to talk about who I was right about and who I was wrong about, and it's the practice squad, I don't care. There was a situation. I'll share it if you want, because someone was attacking the doc, and it's very juicy. So if y'all want me to share it, I'll share it with you. I got the screenshot. All right. So the practice squad is Miles Adams, Ronnie Bell, Tristan Colon, Keith Cooper, Eric Hallett, Zach Horton, Tom Kennedy. I don't think I had Zach Horton on my bingo card as in practice squad. Jackson Flaxen Waxon is back. Mason Miller, Michael Neese. I don't know why they brought back Mason Miller. He was cheeks. Anthony Pittman, Jacob Sailors, Lauren Strickland, Dan Skipper. I told you Dan Skipper wasn't going nowhere. Edge Isaac Uku. And that is it. Guess who didn't make the practice squad? Hold on. Let me count. It's 16 men, right? Let me count. Miles Adams is 1. Ronnie Bell is 2. Tristan Colon is 3. Keith Cooper is 4. Eric Hallett is 5. Zach Horton is 6. Tom Kennedy is 7. Tom Kennedy is always on the practice squad. We already know that. Jackson Flaxen Waxon Meeks is 8. Mason Miller is 9. Michael Neese is 10. Anthony Pittman is 11. Jacob Sailors is 12. Lauren Strickland is 13. Dan Skipper is 14. Isaac Uku is 15. Did I miss someone? Did I miscount? Hold on. Was Miles Adams the first one? It looked like it. All right. Let's see. Even if it's hold on. Let me do this again. I might have missed it because I was talking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. No, it's 15. All right. So there is another spot being held open. Whoever is held open for, I don't know. But again, I would just like to call out the fact that Mitchell Agood was not on the practice squad. I thought he'd be on the practice squad. Again, someone told me that Mitchell Agood was a reason that we didn't need Big Z. Mitchell Agood is not even on the practice squad. I gave him too much credit. I said he'd be on the practice squad. But I digress. All right, let's see. Tactical Sports says no real Lions fans should care about who was right and who was wrong about the practice squad. It was just content. There are people who, my guy. Okay, do y'all want me just, smash the like button. Let me know in the chat. If y'all want me to read what it was, I can read it and just not tell you who it was. You probably know who it was, but I'll read it. Y'all let me know in the chat if y'all want to see it. All right. So we got 15 people on the practice squad. And there's a final spot. I don't know if Mitchell Agood will be filling it. I don't know if someone else will be filling it. But the roster moves that we did make, okay? We got a guy in Tyrus Wheat. All right. Tyrus Wheat went to Mississippi State. He was, I guess, drafted by the Cowboys. And I think we picked him up off of the, I guess we picked him up off of the Jaguars practice squad. Please tell me who this man looks like to you. It's painfully obvious. It's painfully obvious. Who does this man look like who's no longer on our team, who was the 96th pick in the NFL draft? Who does that man look like? Okay. All right. But he's a defensive end, not like Tactical Sports' best friend. David says, can't wait for the first game now. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't be mad about who was right about the 53-man roster. None of us are in that room, and Brad, so it all should be taken as content. Will Murray says, Broderick. Facts. He looks like Broderick Martin. Broderick Martin is on the Kansas City Chiefs practice squad, so both Hendon Hooker and Broderick Martin were picked up. You are 100% correct. Tactical Sport also says it looks like Broderick Martin. Okay, so yeah, you're 100% correct. This is why I'm not pulling nothing up. I don't have my notepad open. I'm not like, let's see who was right about the 53-man roster. Man. I said Amon-Ra St. Brown was going to make it, and I was right, baby. Yeah. No, I don't care. Okay? It's something that we talked about, and that's all it was. All of us, if you're a Lions fan, okay, and for those of us who do content as Lions fans, all we care about is the team being right. Right? If you care about yourself being right, if you are this, like, there's reasons that people like me, there's reasons that people like Syndicate, there's reasons that people don't like me, there's reasons people don't like Syndicate, there's reasons that people like this person and that person and the third person, or don't like this person, that person, third person. That's fine. My personality is my personality. If you rock with it, you rock with it. If you don't, you don't. Okay? But just having some knowledge of ball is why a lot of us talk about what we talk about. If you're constantly trying to prop yourself up as the most knowledgeable, no one cares. I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. We don't care, okay? Because if you are the most knowledgeable, but you have the personality of a dry paper bag, not even a wet paper bag, a dry paper bag, no one wants to rock with you. You understand what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. All right. David says, hold on. Telemedia says, I agree with my man that went the who's right versus wrong ish. You can't be wrong with that ish. I don't get it. Going to be funky watching Detroit Lions games in the Philippines. I'm 12 hours ahead. Well, David, I got you beat. I'm currently 14 hours ahead. And by the end of the season, I'll be 16 hours ahead. And it sucks. Because these 14-hour ahead games means I got to be up at 3 a.m. to bring the stream to y'all. But that's why I mess with y'all, because y'all mess with me. And again, remember, if it's a 1 p.m. game, remember I'm up at 3 a.m. and I probably haven't slept. So come hang out with your boy and keep him up. There might be some things I miss in the game because I might be, you know what I'm saying? You know what it is. Tactical Sports says, I think that the Chiefs picked up both to get more insight into our playbook. So the Chiefs didn't pick up both. They picked up Broderick, and the Panthers picked up Hendon Hooker. A good thing that neither of them were very competent in our playbook. So the Panthers picked him up. I think the Panthers actually think that they can salvage something because we ain't playing the Panthers. Uh, David says we on the right side of the world. All right. So we were talking about what's his name? What's his name? Tyrus Wheat. Okay, so he was undrafted. He wasn't drafted. He was undrafted. Okay. So we have Tyler Lacey and Tyrus Wheat. I'm looking at Tyrus Wheat. I'm trying to let me find his stats. Okay. Tyrus Wheat is a 25-year-old defensive end for the Detroit Lions. He played college football at Copia Lincoln CC and Mississippi State. So he went to community college and Mississippi State, where he was a second-team All-SEC player in 2022. In the 2023 NFL season with the Dallas Cowboys, he recorded a half sack and 6 solo tackles over 12 games. He later played for the Lions in 2025. He hasn't played for us. All right, NFL statistics with the Dallas Cowboys: 12 games played, 6 solo tackles, 1 half sack, 8 games played. I mean, he's similar to Levi Onwuzurike. I'm just saying. Levi Onwuzurike with his 3 half sacks last year. This is who's on our defensive end. So now our defensive end room looks like this: Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport, El Quadim Muhammad, Tyrus Wheat. Big Z has to be the next move, right? Big Z has to be the next move. He must be. He must be. Because if it's not, it's nasty. It's nasty if he is not the next one. Okay? Shout out Mr. Morale 313. It's nasty. It's nasty. Okay? All right. Detroit Fan Man says, help me out. Who are these new fellas on the roster? Some guys named Wheaties and Lacey, I guess. Brother, I don't know. Okay? We trying to figure this out. Sounds like you know as much as me. Exactly. Never heard of either of them. Mr. Morale 313 says, what position would you have considered AQM as last year? Because I think your boy Derek owes his subs a clown suit. I think AQM was an edge rusher, right? Why did Derek say he wasn't an edge rusher? Will Murray says, I thought we were done with project players. Give me a project chick, a hood rat chick, one that don't give up and say she took that. So there's this, like that song. We go into, we can't say things. LTST, well, okay, LTS True Dirty Money said, better hurry up and sign Big Z. What up, though? LTS True Dirty Money, I hope. I hope. Tyler Gupsworth says, wow, half a sack. I was wondering where we were going to get that production from. Brother, second team All SEC in 2022, I guess. I guess that's, I think he had like, what was his college stats? Okay, because his college, I got him right here. His college stats in 2022, he had 6 sacks, 10.5 tackles for loss at Mississippi State. He led the Bulldogs in sacks in each of his 3 seasons. He runs a 4.65 40-yard dash. Bro, I don't know. I'm trying. I'm trying to find something. Welcome to the Lions, Tyrus Wheat. Any of you guys allergic to gluten? Because, you know, I don't know. I don't know what to say. What are my girl K Adora's stats on the edge? Oh, I'm not gonna touch that one, Todd Cool. I am not gonna touch that one because you know edging, and I'm not gonna do it. I am not gonna do it. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Morale 313 said he was an LB, so the number that they hit for sacks didn't count towards this suit. No, he's not LB. He's an edge rusher. Dirty Money says we deep at edge, a whole 3 edge rushers. Yeet, SMH. No, we got 4 now. We got 4 with the guy on the Wheaties box. We needed to get better depth at DE and a better QB3. Turns out we just gonna run with neither. Facts. Well, I'm not gonna say facts. Right now, it looks like facts. In my opinion, look, you didn't keep, or you didn't have your roster, your 53-man roster at 49 to have these people in here. You brought in a safety special teamer. You brought in 2 defensive linemen who have done 0 in the NFL. You got a 6th-round pick for Tim Patrick. You brought back Jackson Flaxen Waxon and put him on your practice squad. That's the nephew. Where's the uncle? You know what I'm saying? Your favorite uncle on your mother's side. Or was it your father's uncle on your mother's side? Where is he? Where is Ja? Where is Ja? Somebody find Ja Rule to make sense of all of this. Where is Ja? Does Davenport make it to game 4? Brother, I hope so, man. I hope Davenport makes it to game 14. I hope he makes it to game 21. I hope he makes it to all of the games. But hope is not a currency that you can spend. You can't spend hope. You can't. You can spend facts. Right? Facts is a currency you can spend. You can spend stats sometimes. Right? Right? Stats are like stocks. Goes up and down. Because stats can be skewed, right? Facts can't really be skewed. Dirty Money says, who's getting edged? I'm not touching that one. I'm not touching that. We want to clean the show around here. All right. Wide receivers are supposed to get players that can be on the Wheaties box. Instead, we get the unprocessed weeds. What up, though, Zach J? Where's Nate Lynn? I don't know if he was signed to anyone's practice squad, but he's not on our practice squad. Damn, he said, I hope it gets out of quarter 1. Keep hope alive. All right. Okay, I gotta do this. I gotta read this, man. Because this was sent to me. I gotta read it, okay? I gotta do it. All right, y'all ready for this? Are y'all ready? Because I hope nothing good happens for this person. Okay, I'm not gonna say who it is, but those of you that who have been with me for a while, you know who it is. All right, it's a post that I was sent because I don't follow this person. Looking at this person's face makes me angry. Okay, so it says, heard Macaroon was publicly trashing me for having the Dan Skipper call hours ahead of anyone. Hours ahead of anyone else. F you, dude. Just because I bested you and got info that ended up being legit, you are a troll. Literally, if you have to tell everyone on your podcast 100 times that you are real, legit, and blah, 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 that's a problem. Grow up. I was literally driving, then walking, talking, and at Ford Field and managing my ex, blog, and texting over 500 messages. Bro, you can't hang with me. SI propped your ass up. My only question is why? Brother, so you can walk and chew gum at the same time. Cool. Bro, I'm so I'm upset, okay? I'm hold on. Hold on. We gotta get Doc on the show. We got to get Doc on the show. You got to be more careful. We got to get this man on the show. All right. Because Doc said, all right. Hold on. Let me text Doc, bro. Hold on 1 second. Let me text him. Let's see here. I hope that image saved. It's not in my gallery, so I have to take a screenshot, put it in my gallery. I gotta get him on the show. Okay, because this we gotta get this man on the show. I know he's busy, right? And this is why we kind of like keep missing each other. All right. If Just a Fan is here, I did hear back from Flannel Sam. Okay, Flannel Sam said to keep in touch, and we'll see what we can work out. All right. Oh yeah, you rated E for edged. Everyone, E for everyone. Well, they say you can hope in one hand and wish in the other, and see which one fills up faster. Well, if you hope in one hand and you piss in the other one, I'm pretty sure the one you piss in will fill up faster. Stop it. Everyone knew there was coming. Skipper was coming back. Bro, I said he was coming back like before, like that was common sense that Dan Skipper was coming back to the Detroit Lions. You didn't have to have any sources. You didn't have to be blogging and texting all at the same time. Walking, driving. The dude just goes over the top with the stuff that he talks about. Man, I had 15 phones, man, and one of them was on each finger because, I got 15 fingers, not like everybody else in the world. You know what I'm talking about? And then, you know what I'm saying? I had my crack in one pipe, and then I had my weed in the other, and I had the coke up my nose because, I had to do, I stay up. I stay up 37 hours a day. My day got 37 hours. Everybody else has got 24, because I'm special like that. And I was walking, talking, smoking, drinking, doing everything, snorting, you know what I'm saying? Injecting, popping pills. I was doing everything all at the same time. And then I had, like I said, 15 fingers. I had one phone on each finger. And then I was doing everything. And then I did all, man, give me a freaking break, bro. Anyway, let's get back to football. And Mr. Morales says, dude gasses himself a lot too if it's who I think it is. Oh yeah, it's who you think it is, Mr. Morales. It's definitely who you think it is. Detroit Fan Man says Doc versus Will is an American Gladiator themed duel for the ages. The only gladiator in that duel is Doc. Okay? Boy, do I hate that man. Oh my God. Boy, at one point, it's going to piss me off so much. And I'm just going to, we're going to have one show where we just chilling. And I'm just going to bring all the receipts. I'm going to bring out emails. I'm going to bring out everything. And for those who want to stay to see the story, I'm going to put it on full blast. Full blast. Maybe that'll be a bi-week show. Where I just let everything out there. Because his dumbass was dumb enough to send me text messages and emails documenting every dumb thing that he ever did. Okay, anyway, I'm on my soapbox. I digress. Okay. Woosah. Okay. So the next move that we make, because I felt kind of foolish. I made this thumbnail and I put the show up after Brad Holmes had traded away Tim Patrick. And the reason I did that is because once we traded away Tim Patrick, we officially had 49 people on the 53-man roster. So I'm like, ooh, there's a lot of stuff that we're gonna do here. We probably could pick up a quarterback, like someone said earlier. Probably could pick up quarterback 3, or someone who would just compete with Kyle Allen to be quarterback number 2. And y'all can do that at practice. You know, you didn't do it at training camp, but you could do it at practice, no problem. And I was like, yeah, we definitely gonna bring in like an edge or two. Like if you would have brought in Shadow Heavies, okay, because they had this idea. And you know, I like to give credit where I heard something. Like it's not like a novel idea, but if you were to bring in Big Z and Jadeveon Clowney, which is I think something that we talked about earlier when we were talking about both of those two guys being available. So they just refreshed my memory, okay? So if you were to bring in Big Z and Jadeveon Clowney, which probably you're not going to bring in Jadeveon Clowney because apparently he's not a Dan Campbell guy, and so whatever. But you brought in Tyus Jones. who are these people? Hold on. You brought in Tyrus Wheat, and who's the other guy? Who's the other guy that you brought in? I don't even remember. Who is it? Okay. Tyrus Wheat and Tyler Lacey. I don't know. So if y'all have an idea, do y'all feel comfortable going into week number 1 with Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport, Al-Qadim Muhammad, and Tyrus Wheat as your edge room? Tyler Lacey is a what? Tyler Lacey is a tackle. Okay. Now Tyler Lacey from the Jaguars, apparently he got a little bit something to him. Okay. He's got a little bit of something to him. Even if he's got a little bit of something to him, we have Tyleik Williams. We have DJ Reader. DJ Reader. I gotta get like a sound for that. DJ Reader. I think that's good. Y'all like that one? Let's try it on for size one more time. DJ Reader. I like that one. I'm gonna keep that. I added it because yesterday it was just DJ Reader. Now I've added the You see how mine is different? Because it goes but mine goes ting. If you know, you know. Use the hashtag, bro. I pull a lot of stuff out of the blue, bro, because out of my mind, because it just flows. Okay, so even if, so we got Tyleik Williams, we got DJ Reader. Okay, and then we got not Robin. Well, I don't call this man Robin Lopez, Roy Lopez. Okay, but I wasn't doing that in the beginning, and Easy was doing. He kept doing it, so now I'm doing it. Roy Lopez. Okay, Roy, don't call me Robin Lopez. No Broderick Martin. Taylor Made Media's favorite, Pat O'Connor. And now we got Tyler Lacey. You got Mekhi Wingo coming back, who's a defensive tackle. You got obviously Aleem McNeil coming back, who's a defensive tackle. You've got depth at defensive tackle. Where was I supposed to get excited about Tyler Lacey? Is he challenging Tyleik for his job as a starter? Probably not. Is he challenging DJ Reader for his job as a starter? Probably not. Is he challenging Roy Lopez at his job for number 1 backup defensive tackle? I don't know. But do I care? No. Okay? I know you want to crush the pocket. You want to create interior defensive pressure. I know that. And I'm not that part of their scheme it's not lost on me. You got Josh Pascal coming back whenever he's coming back, and we know Josh Pascal is better suited to be a defensive tackle than a defensive end with his 5 sacks for his career. Where was the excitement for Tyler Lacy supposed to come in? That's just my question. I don't know. So you did all that, and these people are on the 53-man roster. They're not on the practice squad. Tyler Lacy and Tyrus Wheat are not on the practice squad. As you said, the unprocessed version of the guy that's supposed to be on the Wheaties box. We just got the unprocessed wheat. So I feel silly now that I've put that up. Is Brad Holmes cooking the ultimate feast? No, he's not. And I know we got to give it time. I understand it, but we need depth, bro. We need depth on the defensive line. Don't get me wrong. I understand that we need depth. We have 3 edge rushers who are worth a damn. We have 3 edge rushers who have a single solo sack to themselves. Okay? Aiden Hutchinson has gotten a solo sack before. Marcus Davenport has gotten a solo sack before. El Quadin Muhammad has gotten a solo sack before. Tyrus Wheat has not. And we don't know. You have to go back to see what his half a sack was. He could have got pressure at the last second, and as the quarterback was going down, he just tapped him on the ankle, and they gave him half a sack. He's played in 12 games. 12 games. He's been in the league since 2023. He's played in 12 games. I don't want to crash out over Tyrus Wheat, but I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. What up, though, K-God? Cagney and Lacy. Tactical Sports said Big Z isn't going to get re-signed by the Detroit Lions. Brad already told us that. No, I do not feel comfortable with what we have. He didn't tell us. He told us that, but then he said something else tactical. You gotta choose which side of his neck you want to believe. I'm choosing the side to say there's obvious mutual interest in bringing Big Z back. The last time he spoke about Big Z when he was on 97.1 The Ticket, and he said there's obvious interest there. Obviously, you want to bring him back. That's what he said. So that's where I'm going with, because that's the last thing he said. I'm completely comfortable, but obviously we are going to add to it at some point. When did they say that? You have to get me back. Vanilla Ice was smoking crack. Yes. Hater number 95. If we stay relatively healthy, we will have a top 5 defense. Listen, I said that last year. I said the defense last year on paper looked like a top 5 defense. And I was correct through a few weeks of the season. And then everybody died. Yeah. That one, if I did that one, y'all wouldn't get that one at all. I'm telling you. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to ask you to use the hashtag. When Sugar said, somebody if he die, everybody dies. Okay, I was trying to do, that was a Jamaican accent that it was supposed to be, but it wasn't Jamaican because I can't get that. I got to start out slow with the Jamaican accent. They call me Bushmaster. You know, like I got to start out slow. Sin. You know, I got to start. I can't just. The Jamaican accent don't work like that. If it was like a British accent or something like that, I could do it. But the Jamaican one, I gotta ease into it. Anyway, use the hashtag. People trying to find something to cry about. Eagles had 21 or 22 starters in the Super Bowl last year. Yes, K-God, they did. But guess what? That hasn't been the Lions' MO. Health hasn't been the Lions' MO for years. We're just not one of those franchises that has ever been able to stay healthy like that. So we're only going with what we know. We need depth. We must have depth. If we don't have it, look what happened last year. We were getting guys off the street. We brought guys off their couch, out of retirement. Jamal Adams. Like we had people that were in situations where they weren't supposed to be in. We had a special team linebacker, Ezekiel Turner, playing against the Buffalo Bills, refusing to cover a single running back coming out of the backfield, refusing to cover a single tight end that crossed his face. He was out there like, I am a special teamer. Let me know when the punt coverage is happening. Let me know when the kick coverage is happening, and I'll get on this tackle thing. So we need depth. And when I say depth, I want it to be quality depth. You feel me? Tyler, who Brad Holmes is cooking. Maybe if we stop talking about Brad getting an edge, he will finally get one. We've been begging for 3 years and Brad just ignores us. Maybe we should focus on something else. The reverse psychology. Okay. So we just go, what's a good one? What's a good position? Pause. Pause. Tackle? Because I'm trying to get to like the actual reverse. So we'll go tackle. Man, we need a backup tackle. We need a backup tackle, y'all. I mean, we ain't got nobody but Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker. I almost said Eric Decker. Shout out if you know, use the hashtag. We ain't got nobody but Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker. Right? We need a backup tackle, y'all. We need a backup tackle. We don't have one. Let's see if it works, Brad. I remember when people threw Fitz over Chase Young. I didn't throw Fitz over Chase Young. Now, the victory lap of Chase Young is that he made a play in the NFC Championship game when we played them. He did have a sack, I believe. That's the victory lap that people like to take over Chase Young. I didn't want Chase Young, but I'm biased because Chase Young went to Oh Hell No State, and he was teammates with Jeffrey Oh Hell No Kuda. So I'm biased, admittedly. It's luck to an extent. When we played Washington, we had 12 defensive players on IR. Depth ain't fixing that. No one has that amount of depth. Yeah, so I can't say nothing about that. Yeah, we got hit by a swarm of injury bugs. Like, it wasn't just the injury bug. The injury bug came with his whole swarm and was like, yo, attack the Detroit Lions. And at that point, you just can't really do anything about it. But my big thing is this. We've got Marcus Davenport, who everyone, again, and I don't understand why it's this year in particular. He's been working on his durability. Brother, you've been in the league 7 years and can't finish a season. Why are you just now working on your durability? So I don't have faith or trust in Marcus Davenport's ability to stay healthy. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm very wrong. And I hope he signs a multi-year extension with the Detroit Lions and he never gets hurt again. Right? I hope that he rattles off 5 more years of his career, never getting hurt again, never missing another play, never missing another snap, a down, nothing. And he plays it all for the Detroit Lions. And we win 5 Super Bowls in a row because Marcus Davenport was able to stay healthy and be the perfect complement to Hutch. I'll let you know when that happens. Okay. Now, when that happens, It's more likely for me to stop doing content than it is for that to happen. Just saying. Tell him we need an RB. We got Jacob Sailors. We got Jacob Sailors back, so we're good. In contrast, Eagles had 21 of 22 starters healthy for the Super Bowl. Facts. Big facts. And that was a huge reason why they won. Also, another huge reason why they won is because their defensive line made life a living hell for Patrick Mahomes for that entire game. The thing wasn't even competitive. The fact that they had 21 of 22 starters available for the Super Bowl wasn't the reason that they blew the Chiefs out. The reason that they blew the Chiefs out and the game wasn't competitive and Patrick Mahomes couldn't get nothing going until like the last 2 minutes of the game was because their defensive line wreaked havoc on the Chiefs' offensive line and made Patrick Mahomes run for his life the entire football game. That's why it was the most uncompetitive, the most boring Super Bowl that I've ever seen in life. Even the 52-17 San Francisco 49ers versus Los Angeles Chargers was more entertaining. This was some bullcrap. Like, I didn't even want to watch it. I was streaming it. I was just like, this is some bullcrap. Tell him, I'm from the West Side. If all you get this tackles, I got a West Side food. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Stop effing with me. If you know, you know. Use the hashtag. Cubs that can win games. I missed something because there was a message that got retracted. I don't know. All right. You know what time it is. You know what we do on this show, boy. We flow, boy. But before we flow, boy, we checking on your door, boy. If y'all have never seen Marcellus Wiley's hydration situation, his show, his podcast, that's where I got it from. It's so funny. It's so funny. Okay, and then he raps. It's every show, every episode. Whatever he was talking about, he raps about it. Right? And it's mainly freestyle. So it's like, no, it's not good. Sometimes it's really funny. Mr. Morale 303 says, hashtag old man don't play. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Who was that? John Witherspoon was like, I'm from the west side of Detroit. I choke a mother. Zach J said, I thought this was reverse psychology, so we tell him we need a position we don't see actually gets an edge for once. I mean, is it reverse psychology if you tell him we need a running back? Because that's why I was going with tackle, because I'm like, maybe the tackle will trigger something in his mind that makes him pick up a defensive end. You know what I'm talking? Okay. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. All right. Mailbag. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they're reading you? Mailbag. Snick. Mailbag. Get your mailbag questions in. Get them in. Bask in it. DJ Reader. What? Yo, I had fun, bro. This is I don't know, for whatever reason, this show was fun today. We didn't talk about a whole lot, but it was fun. So go ahead, get the mailbag questions in, and we can talk about more of some other stuff. Do you think Manu is getting any better? According to Manu himself, he is. According to Taylor Decker, he is. According to Dan Campbell, he is. But so the thing that Manu said was that things are harder in practice. He has more difficulties in practice with the way they play and the way they practice, and then obviously he's got to go against Aiden Hutchinson and blah 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 blah. However, when you like, okay, I feel like the games are easier. Caleb Williams thought the same thing in the preseason last year. Look how that worked out. Manu hasn't played in a game, but he thinks the games are easier. He played in the preseason against a lot of dudes that are no longer on teams. Or dudes that are on teams, but they're not on active rosters. They're on practice squads. Or against second stringers that are not going to be the primary players at their position when the season starts. So the answer to that question is, I don't know. The answer to the question is, I don't know. I can't really tell you. Has he made strides since last year? Of course, sure. Is it enough for him to be ready? Is he going to be the Dan Skipper? I don't know. I can't tell you that. I don't think he's ready, but we'll see. Mailbag, on a scale of 10, on a scale of 10 to 10, how much do you love Tyrus Wheat? Let me guess, 10. I guess. Yeah, because that's my only option. I can only pick 10. Mailbag, in what world are you good with this world's roster? Bizarro world? One of the Marvel, like Earth 596, maybe. I don't know. What's Earth 596? What's happening in Earth 596? Oh, we got a reply from the doc. He says, LOL, I made him mad because I said he needed to use sources so people believe him. He is too easy to rile up. And I reply with, I hate him so much you just don't know. Laughing emojis. The Spider-Verse. All right. Mailbag, with all of the roster moves, what does the salary cap look like? Did we save money? Yeah, we saved money, which is why we believe Big Z is coming back. You cut Hendon Hooker. You cut Broderick Martin. You traded Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick was making $2 million. Okay? So I would guess that his salary is off the book, so therefore you can give that $2 million to Big Z. I feel like if he just gets Big Z, I'm fine. I'm okay. I have no more questions. I have nothing further, Your Honor. I rest my case. If he gets Big Z, nothing further. What up, though, Dwayne Fulmer? TaylorMade Media says, when your boy Tesla gets folded the hell up like the 6th rounder out of Boise State, then what? Then we have Jackson Flaxen Waxen Meeks. Shout out to you if you know where Jackson Flaxen Waxen comes from. Then we have him on the practice squad and we can elevate him because he's a better wide receiver right now than I think Dominic. Love it. Gotta love it. So, yes. I think Isaac Tesla is going to be fine. I mean, I like what I saw from him. I think that he was on a fast track to justify that trade because that was the criticism that he needed to justify that trade. And I feel like If he can go out there and productive and get 500-600 yards this year, he's justified the trade. If he's productive in the face of them trading Tim Patrick, he's justified the trade. I don't think he has to do too much at this point to justify the trade. Right? I don't think it's a long shot that he will. And I don't think it's trending towards he won't. I think if he doesn't, I will be surprised. And y'all know I'm not a rookie Kool-Aid drinker, right? I like my Kool-Aid with seasoning, okay? And so it's got to have been in the refrigerator for a little bit, at least overnight, right? We don't just put the Kool-Aid, into the pitcher, stir it up, and drink it straight from there. Nah, you got to, unless it's ice cold water already, okay? But you got to put, you got to stir in all the sugar, and you got to put it in the fridge for a little bit. For me, I like everything I drink ice cold, even in the winter. You dig? Unless I'm drinking something that's supposed to be hot. Like I don't like my hot chocolate cold. That's called chocolate milk. This is, what I mean. He's not cooking. Who's this? Laquita Hogan. What up, though? Shout out to you. New sub. He's not cooking nothing. It looks like Zadarius Smith will be playing for another team this season. Brad Holmes is too damn cheap. I'm so disappointed in the defensive side of the ball. I'm not disappointed in the defensive side of the ball. I'm disappointed in the edge side because we've only got 3 actual people that we know that can play the position. Manu's PFF have been. Then we have Gibbs, Monty, St. Brown, JMO, and Laporta. Even if he does sign Big Z, we still need some depth at tackle. Right now, if one of our tackles sprains an ankle, we're in trouble. Yeah, tackles, yeah. It's not great. But we got Jamarco Jones. And we got some guys on the practice squad. So, I mean... Mailbag, if Cash Doll and my girl Kay ain't cool, then what? I don't know. I don't know. I think you got a shot, TaylorMade. I think you got a shot. Because, Kay always talking about Detroit men ain't ish. And you in New York, so you might got a shot. You know what I'm saying? Love is in the air. Do. All right, mailbag. Do we still have one open roster spot? Yes, we got 52. Laquita Hogan says, I heard other teams are interested in Smith, Super Bowl contender teams. Yes, other teams have reached out to Zadarius Smith, but Zadarius Smith wants to be in Detroit, right? He's with Cash Doll. His nephew is now back on the team. He wants to be here. Brad Holmes has said there's mutual interest. So we'll see what happens. The dream is not dead until he signs with another team. Okay? And then just like Trey Hendrickson, the dream is not dead for some Lions fans who believe that he still could come here, even though he just signed an extension with the Cincinnati Bengals, which in fairness is true that he could come here, but the Cincinnati Bengals would absolutely have to crap the bed to start the season. And then by trade deadline, he could be traded somewhere because get something for him. Because next year, when that extension runs out, because it's only for this year, when that extension runs out next year, he is out of the door. Okay? After the league year ends, he is out of the door. Day number 1. So it could happen. TaylorMade me says shots fired. Z is not with Cash Doll anymore, bruh. Yes, he is all day, Noop. They got back together. I don't just talk just to talk. They got back together. They were recently in Aruba, but this ain't TMZ. You can go check it out. You don't have to apologize, though. It's cool. The Lions are going to be electric. It's a celebration. It's a celebration, snitches. That's why that spot's still open is for Big Z. Dwayne Fulmer is a man after my own heart. I do hope that it's for Big Z. I believe that it's for Big Z. We keeping hope alive. You know what I'm saying? We keep hope alive. You know? That's what we do. My chat just went out. Um. Texas Doc right now. Um. I hope it's for Big Z too, but I'm a gambler. I'm not betting on it. See, that's where we differ. I don't gamble. I needs my money. All right. So he says maybe Monday after the Packers. His schedule is crazy. This is what Doc says. All right. Let me see one more thing just to cash. All right. I'm just gonna read this for you guys. Okay. Cash Doll reunites with Zadarius Smith after public breakup. Okay. 2 weeks ago, Cash Doll confirms breakup with Zadarius Smith. 1 day ago, Cash Doll reunites with Zadarius Smith after public breakup for not seeing eye to eye. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm just saying because I was called a madman. I was told I didn't know what I was talking about. Okay. I was told that what was I told? Z is not with Cash Doll anymore. Dot dot dot. Bruh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. It is what it is. Okay. And now that we have devolved into TMZ, I am going to go ahead and I am going to end the show. So the Motor City Cats are indeed back at it. We came to give you stats, not none of that static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. We will not be here tomorrow. Well, what's today? Is today Thursday? Yeah, for me it's Thursday. So we will not be here tomorrow, but you know what it is. We will be here on Friday. Party, party, party. Fun, fun, fun. All right, y'all. I'm out. Appreciate you coming by. Peace.